Here you are fat and you're giving advice on people on how to lose weight there, Mr. Nutrition Expert, Mr. Science Degree. Coach Greg, and today's video is on none other than Layne Norton. We're going to get right into if he's natty or not. We're going to go over his body fat, his percentage, and I'm going to explain how I started to know about this guy. I'm going to tell you what I think about him. So bear with me. Before I get into that, I don't actually know him. I did speak with him through correspondence, and so I know a lot of extra information. I'm going to share with you my thoughts on all of this. All right, so when I first heard the name Layne Norton was several years ago, and it was because he was coaching in powerlifting and so on. More recently, in the past year, I started watching more content, more information to just study other people, how they think, what they're doing. And I have to say that this guy is a smart guy, okay? He has brains, okay? How do I know that? Well, for starters, he has a university degree. He has his honors in biochemistry. Chemistry is a hard course. My twin has a PhD in chemistry. It's hard stuff. And he has a PhD in nutritional sciences. That makes him an expert on nutrition, okay? What else do I think? Well, I've watched his videos and I like the way he talks, and I do agree with most of what he says. He's one of the guys that I would recommend that you follow to, in fact, learn some good quality information. He's able to look at science and studies and actually call out the bullshit, okay? And frankly, I'm going over his career to see if he's natural or not, and it's very, very similar to mine. He's a power lifter. He's a bodybuilder. He competed in drug-free bodybuilding. He competed in drug-tested powerlifting competitions, okay? So he has an extensive background. Was he any good at bodybuilding? Well, let's look back, and let's look at him when he was a kid, okay? First picture I could find, he sent me him at 14 years of age. He hadn't even been lifting weights yet, and he looks really, really good. The guy has clearly elite level genetics at an early age, okay? He's not like a scrawny rack of bones. He's got a lot of muscle, and he's got a good frame to work with. So you're not shocked to think that this guy, with training and proper training, is going to do something good in the sport. Now, some of you are going to say, his genetics aren't that great. He doesn't look like Chris Bumstead or Regan Grimes or any of these amazing athletes. But look, he has muscle. He just doesn't have a really small waist. So his genetic structure isn't to be Mr. Olympia Classic. But he has muscle and he has strength. At 14, he started training. He trained with the sand weights, you know, those cement weights, taped up and so on. He did that for like a year and a half, got a girlfriend and said, screw the weights. Took it back up later at 17. By 19, he won his first teenage bodybuilding contest. That's 1 year after I won my first teenage contest. I started lifting at 10. So he started a little bit slower than me, but he's already winning at 19, so he's doing really, really good. So at 14 years old, he was 145 pounds, about 5'9", 5'9.5", whatever. And at his largest ever, as in his biggest stage weight ever, he's around 195, okay? So that's 50 pounds he's put on in, let's say, 25 years, 50 pounds. So it's not shocking or mind-blowing to think that somebody could achieve 195 pounds of muscle at almost 5'10", okay? It's big, yes, but somebody has to have genetics to do this. By the age of 24, he won his Natty Pro card, okay? After he turned pro, but then he must have taken something, right? Well, he trained for 4 more years. Guess how much he gained in those 4 years? 3 pounds of stage weight. Now, he was a little bit leaner, but he only gained 3 pounds in 4 years. Does that sound like somebody who was an enhanced guy? Frankly, if he was an enhanced and got to that build, his genetics were not that good in the first place, but he had good genetics. It's another in favor of his being natty, and I'm calling him natty right here. Lifetime natty, okay? If you don't believe me, too bad. I'm reading on these forums. Somebody sent me some reddit.com, whatever Reddit is, some kind of BS site where they talk about BS. They're, Layne is not natural. No way. Everyone thinks everyone's not natural if they have even 1 pound more than they do. It's true, that's what people think. So how did he look as a pro, as his best? What was his best? He was like low 190s pounds, good build, very ripped. I'd say he was like 6% body fat. He definitely got in shape. You know, he's natural, he's in shape. He's a very good natural bodybuilder, okay? Now, maybe if he took enhancements and stuff, put on 25 pounds, he could be pretty good in a regular bodybuilding show. He wouldn't be a pro bodybuilder in the open class. He wouldn't be an IFBB pro even with anabolics, but certainly would have a very good quality physique. There's even video of him guest posing in 2006, doing his thing, couple weeks out from his show. He looks pretty good, but I think that you guys can look at that and appreciate that, well, yeah, if you have really good genetics and you put in the hard work for years and years, that's maybe something you can attain. It's not like, oh my God, there's no way it's possible. So overall, how do I rate him as a bodybuilder? I rate him as pretty good. Not amazing, pretty good. Like, yeah, not bad. What about in powerlifting? This is where he's freaky at. This is where some people would question him even more so. He's a much better powerlifter than a bodybuilder. Trust me, I compete in both sports. His powerlifting numbers are way more impressive than his bodybuilding, okay? Some could argue that my powerlifting numbers are more impressive than my bodybuilding. His certainly are, okay? Not in the bench press. He's bench pressed close to 400 at his best, but he's got a bit of the longer arms, and it's not like a freaky bench. It's a decent natural bench for a guy that weighs over 200 pounds. However, let's look at his squat. He had an official world record at one time, natural, in a drug-tested federation, the IPF. They drug test you. He has been drug tested and passed. And he's been lie detector tested in these bodybuilding federations. That doesn't work. But he's been legit, like, tested out of meat when you don't even know it's coming. Like, you donate some pee right now or whatever. And he passed. That is tough. Because if you know that the contest is coming up and you're like, oh, they're going to test me, you could stop and plan it and then most likely pass. But if they're testing you at random and you pass, hey, you're natural. Okay? This guy's natural. And why would I even think it? Well, think of this. His deadlift in the last 11 years has gone up 27 pounds. My deadlift would go up 27 pounds in 11 minutes if I took anabolics. I mean, come on. 11 years to put up 27 more pounds? His best deadlift is 727 at 2020, and in 2009 he did 700. That's his best ever, okay? This is a really good deadlift. You know, it's really good, but it's natural and drug tested, so why doubt him? Why question him? He also squatted 668 pounds. That's more than I've ever squatted on the supplements. 668 weighing about 205 pounds in competition, and that's amazing. And he got a silver medal at IPF Worlds. These are huge contests. I mean, this is the elite of the elite. So you're talking about one of the best natural powerlifters in the world, and he's natural, and of course he's going to have some muscle to go with that to do bodybuilding. So he does both sports. It makes sense. He even won the USA Nationals twice, 2014, 2015. In powerlifting, there's 300 million people in that country. That's a lot of people to beat. So now that we know this all about him, he's a natural bodybuilder, natural powerlifter, very amazing at powerlifting, decently good at the bodybuilding. Let's fast forward all that to current day status, okay? There's a lot of controversies that's been built up on his body fat percentage, and he's sharing a lot of information on Instagram, okay? So I decided to use my laser eye vision to, in fact, tell you what his body fat percentage is, okay? He posted a picture, and he says 9% body fat is my current status, and I'm 215 pounds, okay? He said at his biggest, he was about 232, around 15% body fat, and just in the 14 point something percent at 228 pounds, okay? So, what do? Here's the rule. Whatever somebody says they are, add 5% to it, and that's about right. Does this apply in this case? Yes, of course it applies. Just because he's super smart and has a lot of degrees doesn't mean he knows how to look at body fat percentage. He even said, it's on the calipers. Okay, so a lot of people think, oh, it's a caliper test, a DEXA scan test, a hydrostatic weigh-in test, bod pod, whatever. The caliper test is like 20 different tests. I can do a caliper test on a person and they could be 10% or 20%. Depends on which of the caliper tests you use. It'd be like saying, oh, I used Greg's laser eye vision test, but he didn't use it, his friend did. Well, that's not the same as mine. You can't just steal my laser eyes. It doesn't work like that. Calipers, you can't just switch calipers. Oh, I use it? No. So Layne is not 9%. He's dreaming about being 9%. He's 14%. That's it. And when he was 14, 15, he was 20%. Just go with that. So he received a lot of criticism. A lot of criticism. People were mean. They were not nice to him. Why? Well, they said, why don't you practice what you preach? Here you are fat, and you're giving advice on people on how to lose weight there. Mr. Nutrition Expert, Mr. Science Degree, Mr. Super PhD Smart Man. And it's like, yeah, I can understand why he'd be upset. And he made a comment. He says, look, the fitness industry's warped thinking that I'm fat. And it's true. He's not fat. He isn't. So when you criticize him for being fat, just for seeing him and saying, oh, he's fat, you're not practicing what he preach, he's preaching balance. It's not about being 9%. It's about being healthy and maintaining it. The guy was bulking up for powerlifting purposes. He wanted to lift in a higher weight class so he could lift more weight. I did the same thing. It'd be like, I did the same thing. I'm going up to the 220-pound class. I want to break the world record in the bench press. If I get a bit fatter, which I did, I was over 20% body fat. You probably seen the days I was trying to break the world record. I wasn't doing it to have the six-pack. It's not bad. I can still tell you how to diet just because I personally was eating a bunch of shit food to get fatter so I could lift more, and it worked. However, I got injured. I couldn't break the world record. But I broke it later in the lower weight class, so it worked out long run. But this is the problem with what he did that led to these comments that he might not be aware of. On June 20, 2019, on his own Instagram post, he said, Layne gets fat week 7. He was chronicalizing, or whatever the word of "izing" is, to be like, every week I'm getting fatter. He was talking about it. He's publishing about it. He's like, bringing it up, like I'm getting fat. Here I am fat. So if you call yourself fat, other people see that and they're going to make comments. If you don't want to talk about it, don't bring it up. It's like when other people do their journeys of, I'm going all in, or I'm eating more, or here's my journey to obesity, and so on. And people call you out on it, well, you started it. So if you don't want people to comment on you, don't bring it up. When I post old pictures of myself, people are very judgmental. Holy, look at the doc was fat here. Oh man, look how fat. Look at it bloated. Look at a D-ball face he's got on his. Oh my God. Meanwhile, I wasn't on anything and I was just normal 15% fat. So it wasn't realistic for Layne to be 9%. I mean, if he was 9% now, he would only have to lose 4% to be as lean as I was in my contest. You think if he lost 4% body fat, which is 9 pounds, he would be as lean as I did at my last show? That means he'd be 200 and something pounds shredded, on stage, pro bodybuilder, crazy, mind-blown, shredded, cross-straight glutes. No! When you want to see someone's body fat, look where they're at, subtract how much percent they have, and think to yourself, if he lost that much percent of his body weight, would he be mind-blowing, insane, stupid, shredded, crazy, I don't want to look at you, so lean? If they're not, they're not. So somebody says they're 10%, take off 5 and say, are they as lean as Coach Greg was in his last show? If they're not, then they're not 10%. That's the easiest way to do this, to backtrack. So Layne practices what he preaches. He, in fact, does. He preaches what I do. He's got the same mindset, lifelong sustainability, the ability to keep your body where it was and be normal and not be unrealistically trying to do something you can't maintain. I want to be 5% year-round real bad, but I know I can't do that because I feel like poop when I'm 5%. I can't even enjoy my bike ride because I have no energy. It just doesn't feel good. You're starving more of the time. It just doesn't feel right. And it's not healthier to be 8% than 12. It's not like, oh, you're going to live a long time because you're 6% body fat. No, that doesn't apply, okay? 15% men, awesome. 25 women, awesome. I know I do a lot of videos and you guys all think I'm some judgmental a-hole, but I really am not. I just tell you what I think, okay? And I'm not judging you for being obese. I just want to help you to be all you can be. I want you to be happy, and I want you to get to the body fat that you want to be. But I want it to be a realistic goal. And for Layne, what he is right now, probably 14%, that's probably realistic, and that's as lean as. Why does he need to get any leaner? I mean, if he wants to and he can handle it, sure. He has all the knowledge and all the information to do so. So if he wants to, he's going to do it. If he wants to power lift and get fatter, so be it. No harm in that. Okay, so like the buttons. Press the buttons. Press the like button, subscribe, and follow my channel. Go follow Layne Norton's channel. He's one of the good guys. He has good information. He's quite interesting. So he curses way more than me, but it's okay. I forgive him. It's not so bad. I don't know if he likes me or not. Doesn't matter, does it?
It doesn't matter how it makes you feel.
It doesn't matter. Who cares? I tell you what I think. I'm sure he's not going to be mad at this video because I didn't really hate on him too much, did I? Now, some of you will probably think I did. Oh, he's a body fat and he's so fat and you called him fat. Whatever. I tell you what I think and I tell you the truth and I don't want to lie about it. So he has good information. You can learn from him. You can watch his videos and learn, and that's great. Oh, and one more thing. Vegan Cyclist versus Coach Greg goes down this Sunday, 4:35 my time. That's Nova Scotia time. That's like an hour from Eastern time. Check us out. We're going to be on Zwift Racing. We're going to videotape the thing and the showdown. I'm going to voice over and tell you how much I beat him by or didn't beat him by. We'll see. We'll see soon enough. It's exciting. I can't wait to race the Vegan Cyclist. I've been following him for several years now. He's awesome. Go check him out. And until next time, I am out. And I am out to go race this bicycle on Zwift in an hour against my brother. So 1 hour, Steve. I'll see you there.